peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Viewers, good morning. This morning, I want to address the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. The legacy of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya keeps on moving, keeps on going forward and forward. Since the handshake in 2018, that brought about the peace, the tranquility, the unity of purpose, President Uhuru's star has been rising. All over Africa, people are thinking of using the model that Kenya used to stop any form of violence, chaos on the streets after elections. As you know, all of you are aware that elections in Africa produce two things: after or before or after the voting. Disputed elections, winner takes it all, loser doesn't accept the results. But the Kenyan model takes us miles and miles away from the normal type of democracy. The democracy, a negotiated format, a consensus format. A democracy that gives consensus a chance. A democracy that talks about the future of a country, the unity of a country, as opposed to a fragmented country, polarized country, where most African countries find themselves in. We have seen in the last 10 years or so, most of the elections in Africa have been contested by the opposition. Very few people in Africa, countries in Africa, where opposition has conceded defeat and come up to congratulate the winner. We have seen the South African model has worked very well. The Ghanaian model has worked so well. I don't see any other country in Africa where the models have worked well. I thought it would be Sierra Leone, but today we see Sierra Leone going back to the same ethnic tensions, as you can see from the reports that are circulating in the international media and the local media. So elections in Africa are contentious issues. They create a contentious position, create a departing point for the people of Africa, of that particular nation. The legacy of Uhuru Kenyatta, therefore, will be remembered for having brought the tranquility that we have today, the peace, the new format, the new tool of having a better organized civil Africa, an Africa without violence, an Africa without chaos after elections, when the opposition accepts to work for the interests of a nation, not personal interests. This has worked in Kenya, and thank you very much, Your Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for the tenacity and the steadfastness that you have guided this handshake up to today. For those who want to mutilate the handshake, belittle the handshake. One lesson they should learn is to look at Libya. Libya was once a territory we all respected. It is no more. Let's keep the handshake and the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Thank you.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from Kenya. In the studios, we have Miriam Ogutu at the headquarters of Punchline Africa Television down in Malindi, East Africa, the coastal of Indian Ocean, where an earthquake missed narrowly. You did not feel the earthquake in Malindi. Is none other than Karen Joseph. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Karen. Karen.
Good morning, Dr. Masanga. Good morning, Miriam at the studio. Good morning, Professor, and our viewers. This is Karen Josephs from Malindi.
Thank you very much. Across, again in Nairobi, Kenya, somewhere in one of the central district of Nairobi, or is none other than Chaplain Professor Onyari, Professor of Conflict Resolution, an expert mediation, an expert in management. Give him any project management, development studies. Professor will tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and what results we want. Thank you very much. This is a show that begins at 10 o'clock. We are 24 minutes past 10 o'clock, but you have been enjoying most of our background information, putting us out, telling you about the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Your Excellency, today we want to assess and weigh among the number of days you are left with. How much time is left? What are the priorities? What do you want to give to the people of Kenya as a legacy? I am myself, Dr. Masanga, from the Political Command Center, miles away from the Miriam. Good morning. I hand it over to Miriam, one, to bring COVID numbers up to date. How far are we as far as COVID is concerned? How far are we as far as the situation is concerned? What can we do to do what we are supposed to do? Are we winning the war? Are we winning the war? My panel today will answer all those questions. But perhaps before we come back to Miriam, we need an update of which conditions of weather are we dealing with, so that more tourists, those who are planning to go to Malindi, can get excited. Karen Josephs in Malindi, tulete weather, tunataka weather. What's the weather condition in Malindi, the ocean? Any sign of an earthquake that pass around there?
Okay, Dr. Miriam and Professor, here at Malindi, before I get to the weather, yes, we had this tremor. I think it was a day ago or 2 days ago. I personally experienced it. However, the weather today will be very cloudy, and our temperatures will range from 22 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. And now it's around 10, and we have 26 degrees Celsius as the temperature. And by the time we get to 11, it will be partly cloudy, just the way it is right now, and the temperatures will be at 27 degrees Celsius. However, at 12, we'll have the temperatures at 28 degrees Celsius, still very cloudy, sorry. And at 1 p.m., we shall have it at 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. At 2, the temperatures here will be at 28 degrees Celsius. At 3, it will be at 27 degrees Celsius, still very cloudy, till around 4 p.m. And then at around 6, we'll have it at 25 degrees Celsius, and the sun will be setting at around 6:24 here at Malindi. Back to you, Miriam, Dr. Matsanga, and Professor.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam, in the studio, for us to have another figures read, but this time concerning COVID-19. How are we standing?
All right, thank you so much there, Dr. Matanga, Karen from Malindi, and Professor from here in the capital. Now, this is how we stand in regards to COVID-19 situation in the country. And Kenya this morning has confirmed a total of 28,754 cases. 46 of those have died, and 15,100 have recovered. And Uganda stands at 1,353 cases. 11 people have since died in Uganda, and recoveries is at 1,141. Zimbabwe, the cases is 4,990. 128 people have died, 1,927 have recovered. And then we go to Rwanda, perhaps 2,200 cases, 8 people have died, 1,558 have recovered. And South Africa, being the leading country in the continent right now, even accounting for more than half of the cases in the continent, stands at 572,865 cases. The death toll in South Africa is 11,217. And recoveries also, I think they have done very, very well, Doctor, there. Having confirmed cases of 572,865, the recoveries in South Africa stands at 437,617. And not forgetting the people who have died, about 11,270. So from this, we can tell the hospitals there are not really overwhelmed, because the rate of recovery also is up, but also the death toll there is worrying. And a total of confirmed cases in Africa this morning, yes.
Miriam,
yes.
Also add, they have very good healthcare system.
They do, absolutely.
Thank you. All right. That is all. Today I'm not talking too much. Just added that.
All right, thank you there, Doc. Yeah, the rate of recovery is there is good. And so the total number of confirmed cases in the continent as a whole is about 1,084,901, and the death toll is 24,684, and recoveries in the whole of the continent is about 780,046. So far, if you are just slightly over a million cases, well, not slightly, but over 1,084,000 cases, recoveries is at 780,000. So I think we're doing very well as a continent as a whole compared to other places, in the world. So that is how we stand this morning in regards to the situation of COVID-19 here in the country. And Dr. Steele, as we look at this COVID-19 yesterday, we saw the CS for Treasury. He was answering to some questions there in Parliament. He was being questioned as to how the money that is in the COVID kitty has been used. But shock on us, apparently some of these monies have not even been used. They're still in Treasury there. So perhaps the Ministry of Health has not utilized a single coin from the COVID-19 Emergency Supplies Fund, as set by President Uhuru Kenyatta in March this year. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukuru Yatani told the National Assembly Health Committee that the government has so far received a total of 134 billion Kenya shillings from bilateral and multilateral partners to fight the pandemic. And He's quoted as saying, "I wish further to inform you that domestically, through the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund, we have mobilized 9.9 billion Kenya shillings, which has not been utilized to date." So there you go. I know Kenyans have been raising a lot of questions. And even on the show, we've had this conversation. We're wondering, okay, so why do we not have this? Do we not have that? But it appears from what the CS of Treasury told us yesterday, that money is still there. It's still intact. It has not been utilized. And maybe Kenyans will be asking why.
Yeah, but he went further to say 84 billion has been dispersed to counties. That's a confusion. And the minister sounded, I was watching the minister, he sounded washy-washy. I'm sorry to use this slang of washy-washy. You are not sure. You are the one sending money out. You should tell the Auditor General to look for this money. What is the money doing? What does the money do? So we need more answers from the Minister of the Treasury. Why are the billions lying idle? Yet we don't have enough beds in the case of an emergency. Are these not questions? You see, there is something that I learned. I learned of a disease called reactive. It is a very dangerous disease that cannot be healed in Africa. We are always reactive. We are not proactive. That's all I can say. Thank you.
But from that report he was giving to Parliament yesterday, I think he's saying that locally, the ones Kenyans have been able to donate is the 9.9 billion Kenya shillings that has not been touched. But the ones that has been touched is the 134.0 billion that Kenya received from donors outside of the country, and this is the money that has been used. But the ones that Kenyans have donated through, we've seen Equity Bank donating and other institutions and other individuals coming in and giving the personal donations. This one has not been used. That was the fund was collected locally, but the ones from the donors from outside the country is what he's saying the government has been using. And so far the country has received about 34 billion Kenya shillings, and out of that, I think he said the Treasury has used 130.4 billion, so just a couple of millions there remaining there in the Treasury. Professor, I don't know if you watched that news item yesterday.
I totally concur with Dr. Masanga that when I watched the CS, he looked confused, shaken, not even sure what the kind of report is supposed to be telling us. The point which is hot to tell us, we have suspected that we have got perception that the money for COVID has been planned through KEMSA and other institutions. So if Kenyans of goodwill have given 9 billion to go and question Kenyans against COVID, why should the money lie there? Another one. He has said 84 has been dispersed. Don't you think there's a confusion? So what we need to do here is we want proper audit.
He said he had dispersed 9.7 billion Kenya shillings out of that.
Yeah. He has said the money is. He has said the money has not been touched. He has not. 84 billion has been dispersed. So what we are trying to say, yes. We want clear, straightforward information. And what I'm trying to say, what the question
making us more suspicious is not how it's supposed to be. How do you say some money is still lying there and you've also disbursed some money? So what he's trying to do is making us more suspicious. So, and how this should be done, let us get a report of whatever is happening, because the situation right now, we don't get it. We totally don't understand what's happening. And there's more suspicion that has been created out of that whole incident yesterday, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. And also this money that is lying there untouched. There are two monies. There's one that President Uhuru Kenyatta set up, the emergency fund. That is the money that has not been touched. But the money that has been being used to the country is from the donors that have been donating to Kenya, World Bank, all that. They've been giving money to Kenya. Even yesterday, I think the country received some money. So that is the money that has been utilized. But the fund that was set for any Kenyan who wants to come in and support the government in whichever way or an institution, that money has not been touched. So there are two. So this money that has not been touched was meant to purchase essential supplies such as medicine, equipment, protective gear, test kits, as well as securing quarantine facilities. We know how that story has gone. And the fund also meant to support programs and initiatives to cushion provide emergency relief to most vulnerable members of the society, especially the elderly and the poor in urban informal settlements. And I think a couple of months ago, some Kenyans, testified to have received some money from the government, but I don't know how that program has gone so far. But this money that has not been utilized was supposed to cushion our elderly and vulnerable people in the society. So I don't know, when are they supposed to be getting this money? Because I would think they need it right now. Mm-hmm.
And I think we should direct that question to
Attorney.
Because yes.
Yes.
He should tell us how far have they gone, how many so far have, and how are they planning on distributing the rest? That is what we want to hear. So he has more questions to answer as far as I'm concerned, Miriam.
All right.
And to buttress your point, both of you and the media, then I want to ask you one question that can bring down the house. Very serious question. So, Kenya, we don't have money for emergency. So on the whole treasury, there is no money for us for emergency? The country has no money. You were saying you are spending the donor money.
No, the 9.9 billion has not been touched, is there?
But that 90 million is not
billion.
From him.
Yes.
The 90 million is not from the government.
From the people in Kenya, yes.
From the people. So where is the money for the emergency? Where is it that I told you all of you will keep quiet and we are all gone now? No, wait. It shows us we are in chaos. It shows that the minister doesn't know what he's doing.
Correct.
It shows that the president must do something about this cabinet. We are struggling here and our voices are going down. We are going to die on these microphones. Trying to tell the president, please do something about how can a minister tell us he only touched the donor money. Okay, if the donors had died before us, who would have donated money to us?
The remaining donors.
Ghosts. Yes, they would. If the disease started there and the wife depended many donors. Remember, I'm the only one chasing that donor, that man of Emeror and Kimiror. Every evening, I check on him to find out he's still alive. Because I want to extradite him here. I will go to Europe and bring him back. Bring him back here. For a Emeror and a Kimiror money. He took the money, the Damu money. So, Onyari, where is the money then? Where is the money for the emergency money for the government? Where is it? You mean you spend everything and there's nothing inside the coffers for emergency? You rely on Danida. You rely on World Bank. Oh my God. On Nyali.
Doctor, I have said that the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury is hiding some information. And I want to believe that by what I saw, the ambassador for United States, he was also very furious. There's something which has happened to the COVID money. And in fact, telling us that it is the donors who have given us money. And the one which the well wishers for this, the people have given has not been touched. You are very right, Doctor, to ask where is the emergency kit for this country? Don't we plan or we don't? Had we exhausted or not exhausted? And Doctor, so many hospitals, we have been seeing nurses, doctors, health workers giving threats on now that they are going to go on strike simply because they don't have a PPA. So what I want to say, will the minister prepare and give us the right information? And if it's not ready, let the president compare him, because you never know for how long this thing is going to be with us. The 134 billion from the donors will get exhausted. Are they going to give us more money if they give us money and we squander? Are they going to give us money when you reveal to them that you don't have money for your emergency? Doctor, that is very unfortunate and reckless to have come from the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury. He shouldn't have said. Let me just hope that it was a slip of the tongue.
I don't think, well, and even as we sit here and worry about that money, now Kenyans have a lot to worry about when it comes to COVID-19. On page 9 of the Daily Nation, public hospitals have started charging COVID-19 patients for protective gear used by health workers treating them after the government reneged on its promise to foot the bills. Now the patients are being asked to foot their bills with a big chunk of the charges catering for masks, hazmat suits, gloves and other PPEs that the health workers don while on duty. So a full personal protective gear cost up to 7,000 in March, now sells between 11,500 and 12,000. And remember, every time a doctor has to come in or a nurse has to come in to assess you, they have to put on a new gear every time they walk into that room and remove it once they leave. So you can imagine, in a day, perhaps they come there 3 times. One gear costs about 11,500. Times 3 in a day, right? You have to pay that. So, I mean, what is happening? Are we likely, is this even likely to encourage anybody to want to go and get treated for COVID-19?
Miriam, if I may come in.
Go ahead.
According to the Kenya Medical Research Institute policy on prices, I mean on the cost range of these people who have COVID, for asthmatic people per day, it will cost them 21,359. And those patients with mild symptoms, it will cost them 21,361. As for the patients with severe diseases, it will cost them 24,700 and 5,000. Those with critical issues in the ICUs, it will cost them 51,684 Kenyan shillings per day. But what you just said, you mentioned that these medical officers, I mean the doctors and the nurses, will have to change into this. I don't think it's necessary, and it's very wrong, because there's a situation where these doctors and nurses keep on changing. They walk into your ward like 7 times, and each time they walk in that ward, they charge you because they say they've changed the PPE kits, the PPEs, the PPE, whatever kits, and it's not. Yes, it's not proper. It's wrong. But then these Kenyans, as much as this is happening, you should be very careful on where they are taking you, because these hospitals are different. They charge differently. So when they're taking you to some certain hospital, be very keen. Can you manage what they're offering? Because you'll agree with me, these hospitals charge differently. So Kenyans need to take note of that as well.
All right.
But then it's wrong for the doctors to keep on changing. You're changing this thing for like 20 times. Each time you come to see me, you've changed the mask, and they're charging you for that.
They're required, Karen. It's a standard procedure. They're required to change every time they come in, because after they come from your room, they have to walk in. So they don't know what they've picked in your room. So they have to change before they go see another patient. So it's just a standard procedure. And also, you're advising Kenyans to check where they're going. When sometimes it's just an emergency, you can't breathe. So if it's Kenyatta is the nearest hospital, you don't care, you just want to get better. But now Kenyatta is the one which is supposed to be cheap, being that it's a government institution. And from here, Kenyatta University Hospital, also in the other side, KU, and also Kenyatta, the charges ranges from 60,000 to 80,000. And some patients have complained that the facility would not let them go. So I don't know why, Prof, Kenyans now from this, of course, perhaps the Ministry of Health will today substantiate this report. But these are from the people who have been treated there. Why are Kenyans being charged for PPEs in government hospitals? Why are they footing this bill? With the money lying there and the money that we have.
I read in the social media,
yes,
at the end of this COVID-19, serious countries will produce vaccines. But a country like Kenya will produce billionaires, having gained from this money. COVID, for heaven's sake, we have discussed here, Miriam, here and again. This is something which came and nobody was prepared for it. The government has given undertaking that it will caution Kenyans against this pandemic. Something should be looked into, and even in fact, when it comes to most of the development in this country, most of them have been stopped. And we are focusing on keeping Kenyans alive so that we can be able to do other things tomorrow. So don't overburden Kenyans at this day. The economy is not doing well. People have lost jobs. So, Miriam, let the government have a listening here to what these Kenyans are saying. And the president means well. I don't know why his ministers and the policy implementers are contradicting him.
Yeah, because these PPEs that have been imported from outside, that even we're having that scandal at KEBS, but forget that scandal. We have the PPEs in the country. Who are they supposed to be serving? Are they not supposed to be in the government hospitals, I'm assuming? Yes. Because the government has footed the bills for them to be brought here so that our medical officers are able to be covered. Why are Kenyans and perhaps Ministry of Health, we are hoping that you can come out today in your daily briefings and please clear this for Kenyans, because should this be true?
Even the PPE which were donated by MA, where did they go?
Those are
which hospitals? Yeah. Which counties?
Somebody took them from the airport. Did you not hear that story? Doctor, did you not hear that story? Somebody went and received, who was not even part of the Ministry of Health, the cartel that are giving CS Mutahi a very hard time. Somebody went there and took her. It's a shame, Doctor.
Daniel is there.
Oh, Daniel. Sorry. Daniel, good morning. And please, let me know what you think about all this, what is happening here.
Yes, very, very good morning, Miriam, Professor Jared Onyari, Dr. David Matsanga, and Karen Joseph from Madindi, and our viewers across the country. And from my perspective, I've been following the debate, and I think it's very, very unfortunate that we've really cultivated the culture of corruption in our system, in that we cannot have the audacity and the courage to steal money which is meant to curb a pandemic, while so many Kenyans are suffering from the impact of the pandemic. Many Kenyans are dying from this pandemic. So I think this is the worst crime against humanity that would ever happen to the people of Kenya during this century. And I think whatever President Uhuru Kenyatta needs to do is to ensure that once an audit is done and people are found culpable of stealing these COVID-19 money, they should be brought to justice, and it should be something lesser than what Waluke and Mrs. Wahungu received in the court of law. Let them be punished severely for this, because for both incidences, people of Kenya are facing very, very difficult times, very perilous time for them to be stolen from. So I hope an audit is going to be done, and those who are found culpable, as a professor has said, that we are going to produce billionaires. Let those billionaires be arraigned in court and be charged accordingly. We don't have to leave any stone unturned in this, Miriam. It's very unfortunate.
All right, Doc, finish it for us before we get into the politics of referendum and looking at the Big Four agenda today.
Let me rescue Doctor before he comes. Miriam, let us have this to say.
Doctors. Okay, Doc. Go ahead, Professor.
Miriam, we are frustrating the president. We are frustrating him in the sense that any little effort is putting, and the well-wishers are putting us, helping us to put these things in place. It's not working. So honestly, I have a feeling, I have intuition, I have a perception myself, not anybody has told me, that all is not going well with the fight with COVID-19. And Daniel, the way you have said that the audit to be done, and the way we are talking about corruption, you know, it is because we have not punished people. That's why even people can even steal. They know they can. Do you know how much billions they have invested? You saw how much they will procure. It was almost doubling, something of 50 shillings. They are charging 90 over 100 shillings, something like that. So what needs to be done, Miriam? Let us support the president. And any Kenyan who has got evidence that money is being invested, especially for this COVID-19, he should make that report to anti-corruption, and corruption should move swiftly to take action. Otherwise, we are not going to keep on lamenting. Time must come for us to start organizing on how we take our country forward. Not all the time we are organizing. We are looking for every opportunity to root the public coffers. Miriam, this is very unacceptable and uncalled for.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yes, I come up with a solution.
All right, go ahead.
The EACC is investigating the cases. We leave it up to them to bring out, as professors say, evidence. We nail people. Because for me, why I'm kept quiet this side, Miriam, I'm shocked this morning, even it was. Okay, 9 billion is there. Then we used the funders' money. So where is the money for emergency? In case a tsunami comes in Malindi, do you wait for the funders? Where's the money? We are in a bad state. Let's move on.
All right. Very well, Doctor. Thank you so much there. President Uhuru Kenyatta, please. Kenyans still have confidence that you'll do the right thing. Now, on the front pages of the Daily Nation this morning, prepare for a referendum soon, Raila tells IEBC. ODM leader Raila Odinga yesterday asked the Electoral Commission to prepare for a referendum as he dismissed naysayers against the plebiscite before 2022 polls. The former Prime Minister said the unstoppable referendum will be held immediately. He and President Kenyatta receive BBI reports soon. Politicians, especially those drawn from Deputy President Ruto's Tanga wing of Jubilee Party, have suggested that the plebiscite he held on the same day with the 2022 elections to cut costs. So they were saying the referendum be held in the same day. What? Reggae did not stop. That is what Raila said yesterday. So reggae is back. It just took a pause. Prof.
Miriam, that is what I have been saying here and again, that the 9-point agenda have been subjected to public participation. People have given views. They have been corrected. They have been correlated. The report is ready. it is only COVID came into place, and the Prime Minister has been sick. That was a clear confirmation that they are committed towards receiving the report and subjecting to the referendum. That is the highest degree of democracy and giving people way to decide. And Miriam, for those who want to mix the PPI report with the elections, PPI is going to cure some of the issues to do with the elections. So telling us that now we want to put it, no, it is being in touch of the reality. It is not even knowing why we came out with PPI. And these other people are opposed to Miriam. I wonder how they want to build a united Kenya. What is their strategy? What do they have in mind on how we want to move forward? So I'm happy that the Prime Minister has assured us, and I like to say that the referendum, they are coming with all manner of excuses. It is going to be very costly. It's going to be what? Why can't they return this money they have taken? Kimorado Dam, we lost 21 billion, and it is on someone's pocket. And the referendum, they inflated to be 10 billion. The president, the prime minister was very clear. A referendum in Europe will only take 2 billion. And that is where we go and print those papers. Miriam, I'm happy that the PPI is on course. We'll go for the referendum. Let the people of the people of Kenya decide on how they want to be governed. Let the people of Kenya decide on how they want to unite their country. That's what I have to say, Miriam.
Thank you so much, Daniel. The people from Tangatanga, a few of them are being quoted as saying we should have this, referendum together with the election. And this referendum, as far as we know, as what our professor there has said, is supposed to be a vaccine to cushion against the next election. Yes.
I tend to agree strongly with the professor because when you look at the BBI, the nine-point agenda in the BBI, contains the vaccine, or rather the remedy for the disease that has been ailing Kenya for quite some decades. And also when you look even in terms of electoral reforms, we need to reconstitute IEBC before we go for any election in this country. So saying that we do the referendum together with the general election in 2022, it will be akin to using a contaminated needle to inject a vaccine into a patient who has not been yet infected with a disease. So we shall be carrying the evils of the present day to the future. So what we need to do, first of all, is to pass the BBI, restructure our system of leadership, make it quite flexible but stable, and also make sure that the IEBC is reconstituted and Chebukati and his team is evicted from the precincts of IEBC, so that we have new leadership, we have people who are sober, people who are competent, people who are up to the task, so that when we conduct the 2022 elections, we forget about what has been happening in our elections, violence and contestations. So that is what we need to do. And BBI is a very good document for the record. The 9-point agenda is what Kenyans need for peace, prosperity, and to bring conducive environment for investment to come. That is what will grow our economy. That is what will bring more tourists to Kenya and foreign investors. And that is what a third world country we are needs in terms of progress and development. And another thing also, about the BBI, perhaps we have looked at the costs, but also maybe on my thought, if the former opposition leader and President Uhuru Kenyatta will find a way, maybe perhaps even to pass it through Parliament or any form of legislation, then it will be cheaper for Kenyans. But also looking at the timelines, we only have 2 years to the election. So if something has to be done, then it has to be as soon as possible, because time is not on our side. We have to reform IEBC. We have to pass BBI so that we do the 2022 elections on a clean slate. So let all the stakeholders come together. Let us support BBI, but also let's consider the time factor in implementing that.
Karen Raila yesterday said the players had just taken a health break to rejuvenate, and now they're back, and the reggae will continue playing.
Medium. Oh, who is
Karen,
there?
I want Karen, and then we come to you, Doc, because I know I really want to hear your thoughts on this one. Karen.
Yes, I'm glad that the reggae had not stopped and it's back. And the good thing about this whole thing is because the Independent Electoral Boundary Commission will be streamlined in some way, in good time. And we don't have to endure what we had to go through in 2017 because there will be changes in the commission. And it's a good thing that this is happening right now. And as for the BBI, we need to support it. We need to support it more than we have already so far, because it carries so much weight in matters that concern the unification of the country and the healing and everything else. So those who are not supporting it should have a second thought. And I'm glad that all this is happening now, because with the IBC, we'll have everything sorted out on time. So that is all I have to say, Miriam.
Thank you so much. And Doctor, I'm just looking at this Daily Nation headline here, and the way they've coined that headline. Prepare for referendum soon, Raila tells IBC. I'm sure IBC is saying, we don't have the 12 billion. And Raila said, you don't need 12 billion, you need 2 billion, and we will teach you how to do that. Reggae is back.
Yes. Miriam, my 5 a.m. thought this morning, let's go back there. It's here. They can print it for you. I am, and I want not to tell a lie. Professor is my witness. I'm one, where Songa is my witness. We have had battles. I'm one of the few people who said, and I continue to say, there is no way out. As Wesonga said, you can't get infected needle and use it to heal the wound, a new wound. If Kenya does not do a redemption strategy, sus, sharper, zip, ship yourselves to planet Venus. That's it. Ruto can shout up to heaven if he wants. With you and pour more money, and you do that cleaning exercise. First, what is the cleaning exercise here? Mr. Chebukati must go. A new commission must be in place. Electoral boundaries commission must be in place. Don't touch election here. Don't touch it. Who tells you it is going to run away? No. 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 Don't. I'm glad Raila has raised this issue. Let's come back to the drawing table. Let reggae wakamoto. Yes. This morning I was addressing the nation of Kenya on KBC. A man who tells you there is a deeper state is the one preparing the deeper state. If someone tells you there is a deeper state, that person knows where the deeper state is losing an election. So he's preparing a mattress where he wants to lie. I gave examples in Africa. people who have told us how to rig elections. The elections will be rigged. In Gabon, Mr. Jinping started with the same talk. Miriam, guess where we ended? 300 people died. There is nothing Matanga says which does not come true. Breaking news now before I go ahead. Hey, trouble has arrived in Mudavadis. I told you, George Soros' money, don't eat it. Didn't I tell you?
Yes.
When I threatened to expose, people have run away, they don't want to go to jail. Mudavadi is on his own. Mr. Ewalo has digged Mr. Mudavadi. That's the breaking news now. He says he has no leadership qualities. It's stingy. He can't even buy a drink, not even food. But the money came from me. Unaona, everything Matanga says. I told you. And let them wait next week. Malema and Mudavadi, those two, I am on them. Plus another one. I will not say his name here. I am on them. They touch Uhuru Kenyatta, I touch them. Ewaro says there is money that has been used. You know, these guys went and sat down on the table medium with George Soros. They don't know that Matanga was in the United States before them. Mudavadi is a small kid. He went to United States when he was appointed a minister. Did he know where US was? He was appointed a minister when I was already a civil servant in Uganda, working with the president, smelling the perfume of the president. You think it is very easy to smell the perfume of the president from morning up to night? Not easy. Nyanye wacha. I'm proud. It is God who gave me the chance to smell the perfume of the president. I'm now becoming a champion. And the champion should even add there more words. Just to smell Obote's perfume was good enough. In fact, when we used to have very nice suits, when you come out, everybody says, come and have a drink, tell us. Because you know what the president has said. You know how the president is thinking. So Mudavadi was a student when I was doing these things. So if you tell me I cannot know how much money you have picked from George Soros, where ndio mjinga? Pana mimi. Hasn't it come now? Barack left, Iwaro left, all MPs are leaving. And guess where they are going? They are going to Raila's place. Yes, because they have seen in Western there, hakuna kitu. Hata Ruto huyu, Western there, hakuna. They are eating their money. Look at the people that are used in Western. You can't use Harware. You can't use this mineral digger in Machakos. A mineral merchant. Then you use another terrorist somewhere. Either terrorist or a friend of terrorist. Very close. that in Mombasa you are using Hassan Omar. A liar who caused Kenya Human Rights wrote 2 reports to fix Uhuru Kenyatta. He can't stand and talk face us who defended Uhuru Kenyatta. He has now gone to Ruto's office to stand there with his head. Kuna inaonekana mbaya sana. Look at this. Watu gani hivi wa jamani? Mwache wa Kenya. You Kenyans, it's very, you know, it is like a saying you are holding an election when you don't have scientific ballot boxes. What's the problem? How do you say that you hold an election, a referendum with Chebukati, president? First dismantle Chebukati and fix us a referendum in December.
Very well.
Yes, the referendum should come December. Tumalizane na huyu mtu anasema iko deep state. Tumumalize, tumuoneshe. Si ndio hataki watu ya Mount Kenya kupata pesa. Wacha tungangane na yeye. Hiyo ndio moto. You will cry while you spend millions and you are left with zero. Hey.
Yes, and yes.
Aterere, you know this is very serious. You cannot say people are not happy. People are not happy. You cannot go and tell Murkomen to tell people that remove their money and take them somewhere. Hi. People, if you brought the referendum now, hey.
All right. And Doc, you brought up the deep state, that comment that our Deputy President Dr. William Ruto made a couple of days ago has refused to go away. And yesterday, our ODM leader Raila Odinga, I'm reading from page 4 of the Star newspaper, on Thursday denied knowledge of the deep state that is working to block Deputy President William Ruto from ascending to country's top seat. The opposition chief said he is not in government and that Ruto himself is better positioned to tell Kenyans how the so-called deep state is scheming to kill his presidential ambition. Professor Raila is telling Ruto, you should know, you're part of the state. Yes.
Thank you, Miriam, for that question, because the Prime Minister is trying to confirm what I said here before. The President for the Republic of Kenya is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and his deputy is Dr. William Samoei Ruto. They are the ones who Kenyans gave mandate to take this country forward. Surely. Can we know better than himself? He should come forward and tell us what has happened with that deep state. And if I were him, and for my credibility, I cannot be in a house which is burning. I will run out. So honestly, the way the Prime Minister put it is very clear. He should tell us. And let me tell you for one, and this is what is disturbing the deputy president. He assumed that he was the heir apparent. He saw the coming of the handshake has dislodged him. That is not the case. The Prime Minister is not in government. So the sooner he gets out of that government, or the sooner he goes to his boss and asks for apology so that they continue working together, the better. But otherwise, this kind of things he's talking about, the deep state, oh, I don't do what, oh, they want to harass me, is uncalled for, does not make sense. And it ought not to be coming from a principal assistant to the president. Mm-hmm. It seems we are having two parallel governments. And in fact, what the Deputy Prime Minister is trying to do is laying a basis for him to come and recheck the outcome of the elections, which will go on 2022. And if the government and those who are in the center of politics don't see this, they will come to stand and blame. He has already laid a basis. I remember sometimes back in 2007 or 2017, ODM or the opposition NASA was trying to say that this election, we will only lose if it is rigged. So even if you are going to lose legitimately, who will accept? He has already told us there is a debate state which want to rig the elections. What do you think his supporters are going to do? They are prepared for you.
All right. And he said, Daniel, go and ask the deputy president which deep state he is talking about. We are not in government as ODM, so we don't know about this deep state. Is Raila Odinga trying to be a smarty pant, or he actually means this?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And first of all, let me take this opportunity to register my my dissatisfaction and regrets over the sentiments that the deputy president made the other day. First of all, when you look at it in threefold, he was preparing his supporters to reject the results of the 2022 presidential election, as the good professor said. Number two, he was talking as if he's not in the same government that President Uhuru Kenyatta is. Because let me tell you one thing, as Professor said, the deep state, those are the people who have a say in government. Those are the people who have the overall mandate of deciding which direction the government takes. And that is the president and his deputy. So there's no way William Ruto can speak in isolation from the government, saying that there's a certain group of individuals who are willing to rig him out. That is quite very insightful. It is divisionary, and it's so regretful that it came from the deputy president. And also, just to speak about it, you know, Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Adolf Hitler, once said that, you know, when you are saying a lie and repeat it more often, and it reaches the masses, then that lie, when you repeat it over and over again, it's going to be taken as the gospel truth by the people. And there's nowhere the heart of a nation throbs quite vigorously more than in the heart of the masses. Mm-hmm. So whatever message that he was passing to his community, whatever message that he was passing to his supporters, it is what Dr. Matsanga has been saying here, that these people perhaps they are preparing for plan B in case they don't sail to presidency. They are preparing people, they are preparing militant circles to cause chaos in case William Ruto does not win the presidency. And that is what he's doing. Look at his statement. And for God's sake, he was addressing the Ma community, which is known to be worrisome. And, you know, that message when it's brought across and all that telling us that if the deep state blocks me, then I shall come with people and God. You know, bringing people, a transaction that is perceived to be of the badges and the intelligentsia, then perhaps tells you that he will call people to the streets. He will call people to go and fight for what they believe that it is theirs. But that is his own personal interest. So that creates a notion in the people's mind that there are some people seated somewhere who are willing and who are hell-bent to block our presidency. So, and in case they block our presidency, then as William Ruto has told us, then we shall rise and stand up against it. What does that mean? People are going to come on the streets, people are going to fight, people are going to cause chaos. They will not accept those results. So that is, he is bringing the country on the precipitate of chaos and discord during the elections. And I think the relevant authorities should take that into account and be able to prepare accordingly for any trouble that William Ruto and his supporters will cause. And already Dr. Matsanga has told you, Boni Halwale and some cohorts in the western part of the country, Rift Valley, are working so hard to bring up a militia-like kinds of groupings in support of the deputy president. So that was very, very serious, and it needs to be checked. We need not just talk about it in the precincts of the deep state as everyone is talking about it. We have to look deeper beneath the surface. whatever implications it has for the unity of this country, whatever disaster it spells in terms of 2022 presidential election results. So that is my perspective. That's how I look at it.
Thank you so much. And Karen, of course, a few leaders who are allied to, Deputy President have come out to support some of these claims that he made a few days ago. And one of them is Johnson Muthama, former senator there. And he said, for Machakos, he said, Ruto is not isolated. Let the president dissolve the government right now, and they will know how Kenyans are prepared to vote for Ruto. And I guess a lot of questions that Kenyans will be asking is, why does Ruto have to compel or want the president to dissolve the government so that, he's elected? If you are very unhappy with the situation that you're in right now, I don't think anybody, I've seen Kenyans write this, anybody has forced you to stay there. Why don't you just walk away if you don't believe in this union anymore? Why do you have to stay there and continue crying foul, and you still insist on staying put? Karen, how would you advise our deputy president?
Well, if the conditions are not suitable for him, peacefully, you just have to walk away. And concerning the sentiments of the deep state thing, Miriam, if not careful, it could be used to misconstruct the BBI, because the BBI is there to ensure that Kenyans, there will be no bloodshed in these elections. But when you bring in the issue of deep state, you're creating a mindset, in these people, the citizens, that you shouldn't agree on this. Now, if they don't agree on the results, it could lead to bloodshed. So if we are not careful, this statement of deep state, this deep state thing could misconstruct the BBI. That's what I have to say, Miriam. But then, if the conditions are not suitable for a deputy president, then he should peacefully, yes, Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Muthama is daring President Uhuru Kenyatta to dissolve the government so that the people can show him how much they love Deputy President William Ruto. But why is Deputy President William Ruto still there if this is not working for him?
Miriam, at times, if, there's this saying that says, a dying man will catch at a straw. I think it says so. So we do not have to go to that extent to know that people are in support of youth, being a leader. If they're not showing that right now, then it's not necessary. So I don't think the dissolving of the whatever it will work.
All right, thank you.
Do that.
Very well. Thank you so much there, Karen. Doctor.
And before Dr. comes in,
yes,
the statement of the former senator of Machakos is not worth responding. Someone who is semi-literate, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't even know where the country is. And in fact, I was telling Karen yesterday, I don't know whether you were there, that some of the people in this country have got a memory of a watho. It is being chased by a crocodile. It goes back, and how far is 2017 from now? It just barely 3 years. The country was going in tatters. So when you to say that you dissolve and then we call for election and you tell us how you love that you are deputy president, okay, wait for 2022, or advise him to get out of the government, because we want to create a legacy. We want to fix this country to be united. And if you don't want to be part of you being united in Kenya, the least you can do, you keep quiet. So the likes of Muthama, he rather goes and crack the stones the way Doctor was trying to say, to see whether he can get luck and he can find some minerals to go and sell in the underworld.
Well, he knows how to crack those stones now. They've made him rich. Doctor.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? I am lost.
I can see that. Yes.
Why people are confused. This guy, Muthama, Harwale, and Hassan Omar, they have one common disease. And that disease is called sickness. Have you ever heard of a disease called sickness? Sickness is also disease. And the sickness is the most dangerous issue. You know, people don't die because of ailment. But people die because of what? The Songa should know. People die because of worries. The most worried man today in Kenya, you know who is? Is the deputy president. And those worries can kill him. God forbid. You know, when you sleep and you have money, free money, you give this year million, 5 million, it gets finished. Me, I'm seeing a time when some people might not have petrol in their cars. Medium, there's no deeper state. There are 6 types. If Ruto is worried of deep state, what about the darker state? If he's worried of the deep state, what about the darker state? Let me help him, because he did not study political science. He studied plants and ecology and vegetables. How vegetables can be sweet on a plate. You can't go and cut every vegetable in the bush and cook. Do you cut every vegetable and cook?
No.
His study was to tell us which vegetables sit on the table. So he's qualified on plants, but not in the political science level. If you are crying of the deeper state, cry of the darker state. The darker state is above all this. Narrow, shallow, periphery, inside, deep, then dark. For them, they operate without you knowing. So what is haunting the DP is self-inflicting difficulties of the darker state. You know, if you have done something in darkness, you always think there is somebody chasing you.
So you.
So now you have got the fury. That's why God said, whatever you do in darkness will be seen in light during daytime.
Perfect.
Now hapo tunaelewana, so that we don't talk more than this. The darker state is the worst state that you find yourself in. And the DP has found himself in a darker state. Because you cannot tell anybody that you are worried. You are the only one in Kenya. Even when a mechanic has stolen a spanner in the workshop, they say it is you. A mechanic in Funyula steals a spanner from his boss. They say it is you. Then you must be a worried man, very worried, isn't it?
True.
Why is it that everybody who steals money runs to your office? Even if you have a good house in the village in Funyula or Nyamira or Isinya or Malindi, where the younger lady is, do you have everybody coming to that house? Do you?
No.
If people are coming to your house, father's house every morning, every thief, every wizard, those who run at night, whom they are chasing because they are witches on the village, they come to a Songa's house in Funyula. Don't you think everybody will say, what is wrong with him? Oh, this younger man looks so nice, but there's a problem. Why are thieves crowded in his house? Everybody in Kenya who has stolen money from the government has run to the deputy president for rescue. Why?
Birds of the same feather flock together.
What walks like a duck? A song complete.
Yes, what quacks like a duck, moves like a duck. It's probably a duck. So that is
Like a
it.
duck.
And speaking of ducks, no, I'm not speaking about a duck, but yesterday, one of our leaders here, that is Oscar Sudi, dog. I'm not talking about ducks, but Oscar Sudi now. I saw a video of him he did on Twitter. I think I watched it in the morning and he was raising concern. I don't want to look at the rest of the video, but I think the part that caught my attention is where he was complaining about small businesses and how they've been affected and all of that, and the taxing and all of that. And I wondered, he has a better platform in which he can go and raise these issues and perhaps action can be taken. But he was doing this video in the comfort of his car through a mobile phone. And I think from a report we received a couple of months ago, Sudi is one of those members of parliament who don't even speak in parliament. And Doctor, I wondered, what is going on? Why can't he go to parliament and raise these issues? Because there action can be taken and laws can be put in place. And yeah.
Yes, you know, Kenya is a very, very funny country. You know, citizens complain on Twitter, Facebook about maybe bad policies, bad laws that maybe affect their daily lives. And in that projection, they go to the elections and they elect a leader so that this leader will go to parliament or senate to be able to advocate for these grievances that they have on the ground, only for them to meet him also on Facebook and Twitter complaining about the same. So, you know, there's no need for paying such leaders. You know, if Sudi can only afford to go and complain on Facebook and Twitter, then he does not have maybe perhaps the credibility to represent the people of Kapseret. So if you cannot as a leader go through the right channels of going to the house that makes laws. The parliament is the house that makes laws for this country. So it's very, very surprising that he's also on Twitter and Facebook complaining about the same. But we know the kind of politics they play. That is a populist politics they are playing right now. The hustlers versus dynasties. And you saw even what the deputy president is doing in his current office, hosting a delegation of people who are branded as hustlers. While we know that these are people who have been implicated of stealing billions of shillings from this country, denying the same hustlers basic amenities, basic essentials in life, and just sending them into poverty. So it really doesn't make sense. It's all about politics at the end of the day.
Yeah, but politics aside, Professor Oscar Sudi, a report just a few months ago said that he has never opened his mouth in Parliament for the couple of, you know, the August year. And so him going to Twitter or on social media to complain about some of the things that he should be, you know, arguing and debating about in the floor of the House so that they can find sustainable and proper solutions to this problem. How is this even productive?
Miriam, the work of a member of Parliament is to oversight. The work of a member of Parliament is to legislate. The work of a member of Parliament is to represent its views to the national government and the floor of the National Assembly. There is no way you can take a country forward if we cannot make better laws. We cannot make better policies. If you have not spoken to Parliament, that is where you speak with your colleagues. Speaking in Twitter, whom is it going to help? Who is listening? Who is going to implement that Twitter? And in fact, and sometimes I don't even blame him because I may stand accused. Ukikuwa na ugonjwa wa ulemavu wa kichwa, you rather walk with tattered clothes, but not have tattered brain. This is a man who is being said, who said that he faked and forged a certificate. So he has got no language which he can speak before his colleagues in Parliament. He cannot convince. So that's why he has resorted that one. This is very unfortunate, and Kenyans are seeing the kind of leaders you elect and see what you do. But the country will be taken forward. William, I'm so proud with the Justin Dungu. She came with sexual offences bill. Up to now, nobody has touched that one, and it improved. Look at Engineer Karua for Karau. He came with the CDF. See what CDF has done for this country. Look what Joe Donde, seeing Choma for Rimuru, when he was trying to cap the interest rates. This is the only way that you go to Parliament and you persuade your fellow members of Parliament on how you need to register and take the country forward. Mm-hmm. The rights of Sudi is to speak so that their master will see that you have also said something in the social media. Mm-hmm. Fair and unfortunate.
Thank you so much, Prof. But Karen, is that not a disservice to the people who elected him and gave him the mandate to go there and air their concerns and perhaps fight for them in Parliament? In Parliament, he does not speak. Records have shown he does not participate in any debate. He has not spoken for the last God knows when. But he's able to raise these very important issues on social media. And yet he has a platform where that change can be effected. Is he not doing a disservice to the people that elected him to represent them?
It is a disservice, Miriam. It is because, and it's not something to be proud of. You know, you don't just stand before people and be like, hello, I haven't spoken for like 8 years in Parliament. You know, how about that? It's not something to be proud of, Miriam. So let him follow the right procedure, and he'll be doing them a favor, his people a favor, because why are you there? To speak on their behalf. Now, that is what we want him to see, and not air out his views in social media. So let him and the other leaders learn the right procedure where they can air their views in Parliament, and that is where we can implement them. Now, because he has aired it through social media or Twitter, who will do the implementation? So let them learn the right procedure. Of course, they know what to do, but we want to see them do it in Parliament. And I repeat, it's not proper, and it's not something to be proud of, saying that not said anything for some time. So why are you there if you've not spoken anything? You are there to speak on our behalf. So that is it, Miriam.
All right, Dr. MP Oscar Sudi, they're very vocal outside of Parliament, but where he actually can have the platform to bring change, he has the platform to bring change. He refuses. It's quite mute there. I don't know if this is working for the people who elected him to go there and the champion for whatever it is that they want him to do as their representative. Even as we jump over to President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda and see how far we are right now.
How can a matatu tout be able to speak in Parliament? There are no matatus in Parliament. Bungoma, Kitale, Kericho. Gali Naja. So how can you speak in Parliament? Bungoma, Kitale, Mailo Moja. Yeah? Nakuru, Gali Naja. You know, Africa is great. wenye nataka kwenda Lodwa, Baringo, Sukuta Valley, Congo Brazzaville. You know? Kuja. You know, today is a Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do things like normal TV. Relax. Sudi was a matatu tout. So he knows better to call for passengers to enter matatu. Moi Bridge. Kuja. Gari naenda dakika 5 na baki abiria moja. So it's not me, it's not you. It is the opinion poll that said he was the last man. He has never spoken. He doesn't know what emotion is. He doesn't know how to move emotion. Which language will he use? Kalenjin. That's why you find him always talking in Kalenjin.
We can get an interpreter there in Parliament. That should not be a reason why he doesn't speak. No. Yes.
There is no rule for interpreter in Parliament. The law is not. Standing orders don't allow.
But this is
either Swahili
or English.
Or English.
This is a special case, Doc. If at all that is the reason why he can speak, but he speaks though.
Why is not special case? Is there are no matatus in Parliament.
Stop.
If matatus were allowed to go in Parliament, then he could have. What language will he speak? Does he know the word policy? Tell him to write the word policy. Tell him even to spell the word vernacular. Can that man spell the word vernacular? Without looking in the simu.
Without biting his tongue, doctor.
Yes. So, this is a Friday. Don't spare people that, the MP for what? For matatus. Kuja mara moja. Matatu inajaa Bungoma, Cheptais, Kebratait, Chepkume. Kuja. Chepkume watu mbili unabaki. This is what this guy knows best. Then you gave him a certificate to come to Parliament. That's what you sow the seeds. You are getting them. This guy is not even fit to be a houseboy. Even houseboys are well educated now. You know there are houseboys working in the United Arab Emirates with PhDs. Yes. When I was working in the train between London and Glasgow, I used to work with students who were studying PhDs. And I was in a master's degree. And they encouraged me. When I saw this guy, he tells you he's in the London School of Economics. But David, I'm doing this job to earn extra money. I got encouraged. I said, kumbe niko kwa right place. Kumbe, I used to wake up at 4. Wesonga, 4 a.m. of London time. I'm gone to pick the first the first train to Glasgow, which leaves at exactly 6. Uko, you know, on the plane, uko na ofisi yako. After going through the whole coaches, like they give you 3-4 coaches, 2 or 3. Where many. After that, they give you 1 hour also to stretch your muscle. So you pick the book to read what you are going to do in the evening. Your children, you are a single parent, Miriam. You have to time the plane. It comes back by 4. You must be at home so that social workers don't take your children. That's the type of life. Can this guy of Matatu manage that? Can he manage? That's why going to school is very important. But going through school is destroying the energies. So I just want to beg you Kenyans, don't waste much of your saliva on a man as rightly Karen said it. It is not doing what? No, you must arrange emotion. How will you speak about it? Who will second you? This was a man, you know, when you have a mafia, and when the mafia want to slaughter you with a knife, there are men who cut your legs so that you don't kick much. The song I've left it there for you. Have you seen how mafia kill? You've watched these films of mafia. They cut you like this, put the leg there. Then you know the human legs kick up to the end. Koja, funja, migu. These are the people who catch migu. And they're deadly. All powerful mafia thieves use ignorant people. Right. They can't use Matanga, they can't use Professor, they can't use Miriam, they can't use Karen, because you will query, why are you sending me here? They can't use a song. But for Sudi, if you tell him, go and turn river, don't you see the people that the DP associates with? Waititu.
The course of the river.
They turn the river to pass there to avoid the house. Look at Moses Kuria. At least Moses Kuria went to school. That one, I have seen his papers. Although he went to bad schools of terrorist country called Iran. He studied in Iran, so I don't know. But the actions of Kuria are the ones that the DP wants most. He cannot give you a job. What will you do? Look at Itumbi. The only thing he knows is the teeth to smile with a big head like this. That is the director of diaspora. How can you be a director? But the president also, at times, you let us down, Mr. President. How can somebody be a director of diaspora when he has no visa? He can't travel to, he doesn't know even the road where the Queen's Palace is. He doesn't know where White House is. He can say White House is in Cape Town. That's the type of man we have. The people who get these jobs are lucky. Some of us have a very big problem. As you see us, Miriam, we talk, we are not liked because people fear us. We know too much. So you end up without anything. You end up being used, which is very good for me. It's better to give public knowledge than to be a servant of a person who tells me to go and catch chicken. Migu, shika. So thank you. Let's move on to the last our topic.
Yes, and we turn our attention now to our topic of the day. We were just looking at the newspapers, and today being a Friday, there was so much to talk about. A lot has been happening in the local political scene. So now let's just turn our attention to President Uhuru Kenyatta and see what has been happening so far. What are the new developments in terms of, the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta? And a couple of things have happened, and I think one of the most something that has been happening now, the NMS, being that it's under the office of President Uhuru Kenyatta himself. Recently we saw that truce between the Major General Badi and Nairobi Governor Sonko, who yesterday was somewhere also inspecting these projects and was live all the time. I don't know, Nairobians are just tired of these suckers. Can he just work quietly, and then I don't know, is he able to do that? And will they get along with Badi? Because Badi seems to be a very quiet, disciplined person, and Sonko is just the opposite. Will they be able to work together so that they're able to continue with the developmental agenda of President Uhuru Kenyatta in this city? Professor?
Miriam, Karen alituambia kisuri kinachiusa, lakini kibaya kinafanya nini? Kinajitembeza. Why do you want to go and have shelter? And one of the problem I have with Sonko is this: he has got a case to do with integrity. When you appear before those projects, you make us go mad. In fact, Miriam, let me just ask this to say that this side show is to stop. He should be able to focus on the retro faction he has, if there is any. But if I were him, I would concentrate to clear my name on courts. And if luck is not on my side, I go to committee to be a prefect where I can do better. But what I want to tell you that the Major Brigadier is doing very well. He's doing his work and is very focused. And let him just go and inspect some of his projects he has come up with. So that's the most unfortunate thing. But what I want to say that the NMS is doing a pretty good work. And Kenyans with their memories, when he goes to inspect them and take photos, and then he will come and make magazines, newspaper, the way he did the other day. That's all that he wants to achieve, but it's not a focused guy who has got hands on work, because he doesn't understand what he needs to do. Dr. Masanga said, ask him what to spell the word development. Does he understand? Does he need what to do? Do you need to work with the people? Why don't you leave your work to technocrats? They come to you for advice and the way forward. That's what I have to say about him, but I have nothing good that I can say about him. And he should stop these cinemas ever and again.
Daniel, judging from what we've seen, Major General, how his work ethics in judging Sonko the way we know him, I don't know, this truce, how long do you see it lasting?
Yes, according to my perspective, I think General Mohammed Abdallah Badi, coming from a military background, Dr. Masango will tell you, is a very disciplined fella. He's very mature. He shows leadership. If you see what the way he talks, whatever aspirations, whatever dream he has for Nairobi, this is a man who has a very big place in his heart for Nairobians, and he's really committed to deliver services, to deliver projects to the people of Nairobi, and he's up to the task. And that is why the president strategically appointed him to work for the people of Nairobi, of course, under the office of the president. On the other side, when you look at Sonko, this is a mediocre politician, a scrondel, someone who really thrives in PR and the gimmicks of the day. And he has become a laughingstock of the people of Nairobi. He's deemed as a governor who cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. Someone who really has no moral standards, someone who has been implicated in corruption scandals. And I would like also to go further and give an analogy and maybe just compare the two. If you look at Badi, at Sonko is like the proverbial chicken that lays one egg in a day, and the entire village cannot have peace after it has laid that egg. And he goes around making noise, taking pictures, uploading videos on social media, shouting about very flimsy projects he has done. But look at Badi. Badi is someone who works in silence. He's like that proverbial cow that gives birth to a calf. And apart from giving birth to a calf, it gives also the village the bonus of having milk throughout this period, and it never makes noise. So that is what we have. Here we have a very, very intelligent, committed, ambitious bureaucrat from the military who is up to the task, who is serving the people of Nairobi and who reports to the head of state. And here we have a distraction of a politician who is very unscrupulous, who does not have any ambition, who was given 2 years but never delivered. So I think the relationship between General Badi and Sonko will depend, first of all, on President Uhuru Kenyatta by him stamping his authority. And number two, it will also depend majorly on Badi, because, Badi is not Sonko's equal. And if there has to be any fight, then the art of war dictates that a fight can only be between two equals, and Sonko is not equal to Badi by any standards. So many things that at the end of it all, Badi will have that ample time to serve Nairobians, and Sonko should be restrained to where he is right now, so that he gives him enough time to work and deliver services to Nairobians. That is my perspective, Miriam.
All right, and I think that story also, it's the Standard had it as its editorial today, and I'll just read a line there, because we're looking at NMS and the Nairobi County, being that it is under President Uhuru Kenyatta's office right now and is keen on delivering some of these promises. And we look at some of the things that NMS is set to do and to transform the city and the lives of Nairobians. So the Standard, part of its editorial there, the last paragraph, it says, the people of Nairobi should hold Sonko to his promise that he holds nothing against NMS and Badi, and that it was all a misunderstanding, and, as he said, political propaganda. The people of Nairobi, and indeed all Kenyans, deserve leaders who keep their word. So they're saying Sonko this time should keep his word, because they saw what happened the other time. He went to State House, signed off some of those responsibilities to NMS. Then he came back a couple of weeks ago. He was saying, I was not even in my right sober mind for me to have signed and giving away some of my duties, and so that does not hold. In fact, that case is in court right now, but Sonko has said he will withdraw it. Can we trust Sonko, Karen, to keep his word?
Trusting him to keep his word, we cannot, but he has no option, because right now we're talking of a military officer in charge here. You do not have an option. Whether he likes it or not, he has to keep to that promise. However, if he will, not sure about that yet, but he has no option, and he has to, because even the president himself is sorted out. So if he comes up with something else, we will not be surprised. It's not like it will be a shock or something, but then he should see that other people are working on bringing people together, and so should he, and not rise tantrums in any way.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And President Kenyatta assured the country that he will not be derailed by politics in delivering his campaign pledges to Kenyans. The president spoke on Wednesday at KICC in Nairobi when he presided over the issuance of 2,100 title deeds to landowners in Nairobi County. And while he was speaking, the president said NMS is rolling out a comprehensive service delivery program that has seen it drill over 200 boreholes to provide free water, kickstart the construction of 21 new hospitals, and upgrading of access roads across the city in recent months. 200 borehole waters to provide free waters to a lot of these, especially informal settlements that get affected with a shortage of water. President Uhuru Kenyatta, doctor here, has found a way to overstep the water cartels in this city to solve the water problem for Nairobi residents. Is doctor there? Professor.
Remember,
Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm here. Nairobi is a city of cool waters. Cool waters. I don't know whether you know it. But I can add, because we are teaching people also who are listening to us. A place of cool waters. Maji mzuri, the Masai, the maji mzuri. There's plenty of water here. And then people starve. So that's why you cannot build an underground railway in Nairobi, because it will collapse. You notice that every building now in Nairobi has got borehole. They dig further down. There's nobody crying of water anymore. In these tall buildings, new ones, have you seen anybody crying of water? They are doing borehole. We are getting direct water from God, because God could be there also. God is everywhere. Up, back and down, left to right. God is always there. So, the president has done a very good job to approach the difficulties of Nairobi County in that way. And that comes to brings us to our next stage of assessing what are the needs, what have we done. We don't need much, we need, Miriam, I don't know whether you have that paper to read. You have it?
I do. I have some of the things that we've discussed here before, but I was just updating us on the latest, because this is also in line with the President Kenyatta's
it is in line. It is in line with affordability of life.
Yes.
Nairobi is one of the things that's making the president very, very popular. He has not been let down. Major General Badi is doing it a good job. Everything we can see it practically. So, for me, kudos for the president.
All right. So these 200 boreholes, Professor, this will go a long way, especially in elevating Kenya's troubles. A lot of Nairobians who buy water from these unscrupulous water traders because of the water cartels in these cities. So President Kenyatta and NMS said, you know what, we will not even bother with you, but we're going to solve this problem differently. And the president has said this water will be provided free of charge. How will this change the lives of a lot of Kenyans who have been suffering from this problem?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. And the future for the water in Kenya and the world today is the groundwater. So drilling of those boreholes is one way of ensuring that we have enough adequate supply of water. We cannot rely on Ndakain with the climate change. The dam has dropped. And the most important thing, I see the president is a very lucky man, that he got a disciplined officer who will oversee these programs. I have been walking around the slums, and I can confirm to you, I'm seeing NMS supplying water to the people. Do you know, Miriam, how much a jerrycan of water people buy? 20 liter in this informal settlement? It is 20 shillings. So if water is going to be supplied free, that is a saving. That's improving the lives of the people, and to ensure now people will have clean and safe water for drinking. So to me, I see as something good, a step in the right direction, and I'm sure the Major General is not going to let him down. And it was another opportunity because I saw the president stamping his authority, staring Sonko on his face that leave this match alone. He is my officer, have given him work to do. He's going to fix it and go back to the barracks to take care of the people of Kenya. So in terms of water, and if you give water people, Miriam, water is life.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, indeed, President Uhuru Kenyatta told Sonko there he's not interested in your position as the governor or as a member of parliament or as a councillor. He has work to do and he will do it, and then he'll go back. And also on top of that, while President Uhuru Kenyatta was speaking, saying 200 boreholes will be drilled across the city, he also said that there will be a construction of 21 new hospitals and upgrading of access roads across the city in recent months. So 21 new hospitals in especially the informal settlements in this city. Daniel, this will be major.
Yeah, sure. And Miriam, thank you for the opportunity. And I tend to agree strongly with all the panelists here when it comes to Nairobi. And I can tell you for a fact, look at the most developed cities, look at London, look at Paris, look at Kuala Lumpur, look at Beijing, look at New York, look at Washington. The greatness of a city is inscribed in its proper and undisrupted supply of water, electricity, connectivity, cleanness of its roads and pavements, and the greenness of its pavements, gardens, and of course the apartments and buildings in the city. And that is what the Nairobi Metropolitan Service under Major General Badi is trying to do. They're trying to ensure that Nairobians have a very undisrupted supply of clean water. They have a very unclogged sewerage system. They're trying to have to make Nairobi have very clean pavements. They're trying to green up our yards, our pavements in the city, and all that. So that is what a city needs for us to be able to rise to the standards. For the record, Kigali is the cleanest city in Africa. And when you look at how Kigali is, the way it's designed, the way it is planned, it's quite very impeccable. And that is where Nairobi is headed to. And I can tell you for free that come in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years, you will look at where Nairobi it will be, and you will be so much surprised on how things will have changed if this general is given enough time, enough resources, and enough political goodwill to implement whatever he's doing in Nairobi. So that is what the country needs. That is what Nairobians need. And President Uhuru Kenyatta seems to be very conscious of this. And it also adds credit on his legacy, apart from the Big Four agenda. The Nairobi Metropolitan Service was his brainchild. Remember, Major General Mohammed Badi reports directly to the president. So these are very, very big projects, and it's going to benefit Nairobians and the whole country in general. So I think even the hospitals, even the water, the boreholes, cleaning up of the city, and every project that is being partaken by NMS, it's going to add hugely on the legacy of the president, and it's going to benefit us as Nairobians, and it's going to benefit the country because Nairobi is the capital.
All right, very well. And on top of that, building owners in the capital have been given about 60 days to repaint their buildings or risk prosecution for non-compliance. Major is very serious about giving Nairobi, a good facelift there. But Karen, looking at all these things that is said to be done, and I think they'll be done in the shortest time possible. And then you look at this conversation we've been having here about revenue sharing and all this, and the counties that are feeling, they've been marginalized and they still are marginalized and they need more money. When you look at how NMS will be able to deliver in a very within short period of time, a lot of very essential and, important, services to the people of Nairobi here, would you not think for a moment that perhaps we might need, the national government taking on specific projects and perhaps, implementing it in some of these, marginalized areas in terms of what you're seeing here, digging the boreholes and all that, now that the governors are not doing it? Will that help in solving this marginalization issue?
Well, Miriam and my fellow panelists, to some extent, it will help. And we are using Nairobi here as an example.
So we are not saying to have majors in all 47 counties, but I'm just saying, because we see this is working. So, I mean...
Yeah, we can have it in these other counties. And like I said before, we're using Nairobi as an example. So the way it has worked, they have proved to us that giving them a chance, the national government taking over everything, then we shall see changes even in these marginalized areas. So yes, I agree with you. I do. Given a chance, the national government to take over these other counties, then we shall see changes as well.
All right. Thank you so much. And before we look at the overall Big Four agenda, something else also has been happening. We remember a lot of, issues that some central province or some central part of the country have been using to advance the reason as to why they're supporting the deputy president is they've been saying President Uhuru Kenyatta has been neglecting developmental programs or agendas of the central region of Kenya. But now we see President Uhuru Kenyatta also has been very intentional in how he wants to respond to some of these allegations. And lately we've seen that the 240-kilometer railway that is from Nairobi to Nanyuki is expected to boost the economy of the Mount Kenya region by opening up new trading centers and providing cheaper transportation. It will also improve the economy of the region by providing efficient and faster transportation of agricultural produce to the market. Now the Kenya Railways will be charging about all of that for fuel and all that. But we know that the Nairobi-Nanyuki railway has been refurbished. I think the activity started there in February and is now geared, to start working. And the Central Region Economic Bloc will really, especially the business people there, will benefit from this railway. How will this, help in helping the economy of that side of the country, Doc? And now the people who have been attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta for neglecting central area. I'm still in the province era. Will they now have any excuse as to why they'll be attacking the president?
Miriam, let me just give this brief story that when slavery was outlawed in the United States of America and around the world, and the slaves were just free to do their own things, but they will find themselves going to the gates of Abraham Lincoln, telling him that they want to be slaves because they don't know what they will do with their freedom. You know, the Constitution for 2010, my dear panelists and my viewers, liberated the people of this country. The president is a symbol of unity and is supposed to develop the country proportionally. Having that kind of mentality, those are the mentality of a single party regime that the president is everything when it can be poor papa and mama. Hear this, Miriam. The MCA has got money for development. The member of parliament has got money for development. The governor has got money from the development, and the national government comes in. So those are the cheap politics. To come to your question, remember this was the railway which was built by the colonial masters, the British people. And Mount Kenya is one of the places which was called the White Highlands. So when that railway is refurbished, it means that their goods will be able to reach the market. They will be able to reach Nairobi. They will go all the way to Mombasa. So it means people are going to sell their products. People are going to reach markets, and it's going to improve the economy and improve their standards of living. In fact, this dream was started by my late professor, the governor, Wahome. He had a thinking on how they will develop the economic bloc of Mount Kenya. But I want to thank the president has gotten it right and has taken root to that part of the of the country, and it's not only for the people of Kenya. We want development equally going to all parts of this country. This is a good gesture, and it's going to take the country forward. The products are going to reach Nairobi and reach everywhere, because their goods are not going to perish on the way as when they were relying on the road system. That's why that's what I have to say there. It is happening in that region.
Right.
And also,
yes, go ahead.
People will get employed, you know, because this whole Nairobi-Nanyuki railway line is transversing between, among 6 countries, 6 counties. So it passes along 6 counties. And we're not going to employ people from Japan. I mean, these are the same people who get the employment. And from the employment, standards of living will be lifted. So that's why they should support this whole thing.
All right. And of course, thank you so much there. Yes, raising the issue of providing employment to a lot of, I'm sure, young people who need it right now. And also this railway will improve the economy of the region by providing efficient and faster transportation of agricultural produce to the market. We know Central Kenya is one of the areas in the country that really feed the rest of us outside of the other side in Kitale, which brings us maize. But Central Kenya, we get a lot of vegetables and all that from that region. So this railway will go a long way in supporting even the agriculture industry, and perhaps that will also play into the big agenda in terms of food security in this country. But also on top of that, the Kenya Railways expect to generate more than 370.4 million per year from the revived 240 kilometer. That is how much that goes. Daniel, are we expecting that the politics around President Uhuru Kenyatta has neglected the Central Kenya region and all that? Will these things like this, stop, or they'll still find a way to continue, complaining about a president not doing much in his backyard?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And perhaps let me start by saying that those ones who have been lamenting that the president has neglected the Central Kenya region, perhaps people who are living in echo chambers, they only listen to themselves. They don't open their ears to hear what is happening on the ground, to see what projects are being rolled in the greater Mount Kenya region. And for your record, there's been a lot of infrastructural development in terms of road construction that has been going on in Mount Kenya. And the other day, I even saw the CS for transport and communication launching a very good standard road in Ndindi Nyoro's constituency, and it has been something that has been happening right now. We do have Mau Mau road being constructed, and engineers on site. Work is ongoing, and now to add to that, we do have the railway. We had before that, we had the tea farmers being given bonuses in Central Kenya. So there's a lot that the president has been doing in his backyard, only that unlike other politicians in this country, he has not been going to take photos to shout about the projects and make it a political fodder for support from his backyard. But also, when we talk about Central Kenya, we need not forget that this kind of development is not only happening in Central Kenya, but the entire country. Look at Kisumu. The port of Kisumu has been revamped and brought up to standard. We do have right now construction of the Marine Railways Institute being constructed at the port of Kisumu to train. These are an institute that will absorb students to be able to train them on matters of water transport and all that stuff. So development is happening in every corner of this country. When you go to Lamu, when you go to Turkana, right now people who come from Turkana are very, very much privileged because we do have a very well tarmac road all the way from Nairobi to through Kainuk to Turkana. People who used to have problems going to Northeastern, they have a very good tarmac road. And that's why Dr. Matsanga the other day was saying that majority of these people from Northeastern Kenya nowadays own double cabin pickups because we have good roads, because you can travel to Wajir, you can travel to Mandera, you can travel to Moyale on a very smooth tarmac road. So development is taking place, but people only choose to talk about what suits their agenda. And perhaps now this one is going to shame them and bring silence to their reverberations, their sabotage that has been happening.
All right.
We need right now, yes. What we need right now is to give the president support as he finishes his term quite strongly. Let us focus on what benefits Kenyans. Let us not bring politics into this, because it's already seen. You know, sometimes you don't have to advertise whatever you're doing as a leader. But, you let the project show for itself. And that is what the president is doing.
All right, thank you so much. And we know President Uhuru Kenyatta is very serious about his legacy, and his legacy is pegged on 4 very important things that he termed to be big 4 agenda, and one of them is manufacturing. The next is food security and universal health, and also affordable homes. And speaking about affordable homes, I live not very close, but closer to some one that is being made not too far from the CBD there, and this seems to be ready for occupancy. I think the deadline was October, and they've done so well. So that is because that is something Kenyans love, tangible things. That is something that they can go there. If you drive around or live around Park Road, you can go check that out. That is something that is on course, and this seems to be they will be meeting the deadlines. Doc, is there anything you need to add on top of President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy, even as we conclude?
Just beginning, you haven't concluded.
Yes.
But the Big 4 agenda has steadily been on course. From 2017, when President Uhuru Kenyatta announced the Big 4 agenda, several things have happened in this country. I have seen all of you. I've listened. Even when I was offline, I was listening to the contributions that all of you made regarding the railway, revamping of the Kenya Railway to Nanyuki, the employment that is being generated. These are all the Big 4 agenda emphasis that the president had embarked on. Yes, of course, it has a few obstacles, challenges, including challenges of what Wesonga talked about as being fraudulent shouting over the top of the roof of projects that were not done. Challenges of the people of Turkana. There's a road going to Turkana, which was not there. Lodwa, it was done a long time ago, it got spoiled. You could sleep 2 weeks on the way. When the president established this executive order number 1, he was aware that there will be very huge challenges ahead of implementation of the Big 4 agenda. First of all, the Big 4 agenda needed. What does the Big 4 agenda need? We should have done a research as to what people want. What do you want? What do you want? People want tents. Some want tents. Some want boreholes. Some want clinics. Some want mobile schools. We have introduced last night mobile schools, mobile clinics, mobile libraries. The president planned this. We needed to expand to sensitize the people. What exactly is needed in Moyale? Moyale does not need tall buildings. Moyale needs infrastructure, roads, to be able to export goods up to Ethiopia. Garissa needs better roads in order to infrastructure. That falls under infrastructure, affordable housing. Nairobi needs affordable housing. You cannot have an urban area where people sleep on trees and expect them to produce tomorrow when they sleep on trees. So all in all, the Big Four agenda has steadily been moving towards a completion if it was not COVID-19 coming in. Universal health care. Miriam, time and time again, you and I, we have emphasized the need of benchmarking the British National Health Service, NHS, which was overwhelmed, but now it has returned and managed to contain the disease. We advised on those parameters. We are waiting to see how far the national health, universal health activities can be done. Manufacturing. For example, the president is encouraging small industries, people who can come out with innovations. How many innovators are in Kenya? The other day, we saw two gentlemen making beds. We need more people to make beds, that they can sell the beds so that we cut down the size of cartels who go to China to order beds when beds can be ordered by telephone, one telephone. Yesterday, I got very interesting telephone information on Kenya Airways. It worried me. One general manager was using 80 million shillings for telephone. How many of you would use making telephone calls, private call, for 80 million in a year? 80 million could build a hospital in Kenya. The wife was using 4 million on private telephone calls. Their house was costing 48 million. Why can't they buy a house permanently so that they don't pay rent? So this type of costs adjustments are needed in order for the country to move forward. And steadily, if politics was not available in this whole thing, by now the Big Four agenda would have been found. Miriam, and unfortunately, the deputy president decided to undermine his president. The deputy president decided to allow businessmen, together with Nyanjuri, to import food from across Kenya. Maize was brought from Uganda to enrich few traders at the expense of farmers. That has retarded the entire Big Four agenda. As we speak today, we have farmers in the Rift Valley and other places who have not sold their maize crop of 2018. But if we are having 724 days in office, what can we do to change, to leave a legacy? Finally, on the question of the legacy, challenges have been there. The president has tried his level best. Huduma centers are working. Corruption is being fought. International relations is very good. Kenya achieved international relations, trade. COVID-19 being managed. The nation of Kenya remains on a gradual, steady approach towards total liberation by 2022. You need to change the modus operandi on how you arrest the thieves, how you prosecute corrupt people, how you treat economic crimes from the normal crimes. We need to change that. There is a headline which I saw yesterday in one of the papers that, but it disappeared this morning. No, it is there. Judiciary. Sex pest judges exposed. Miriam, how did this run away from our face? Sex. From the Chief Justice himself. There are questions of sex, sexual harassment, sexual intimidation. Apparently, this report says both men and women. Mm-hmm. Are there women who harass many judges? The two ladies on the panel could tell us whether in Africa this happens. In Africa tradition, it is we who go to beg. But in the court, in the judiciary of Kenya, instead of doing the cases, people go there for making contacts on which hotel they will meet. It is here, it's a report. It's not Matanga who wrote. So, with all these challenges, I can submit, finally, that the Big Four agenda has not remained a pipe dream. No, it is a reality on the ground. And we need to encourage President Uhuru Kenyatta to continue with it, do some more work, generate more resources, pump in unit of purpose, hold the referendum. Hold the referendum to change the course of a disease that has killed Kenya. Mr. President, in the remaining days, just hammer there, apple, remain there. You would have solved quite a lot of many difficulties that Kenyans suffer on a daily basis. Unity, it's better to be hungry, but not to be ravaged by war. I beg to move, and we conclude from on that point that all what we have said this morning is that a big four agenda, revitalization of the railway, increment in transport, new port in Naivasha, cutting the distance, new employment facilities, new commercial, more hotels in Naivasha for the people who will be coming to collect their goods and those who will be taking their goods. These are good things for the hinterland, so that if you want to go to Mara, you take a plane to Suswa. From Suswa, you get on your 4x4. Sindio, you are in Mara already, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So we are home and dry. We are home and dry. Thanks to the president himself coming back to say enough is enough. Let me see the little that I can. The deputy president let down the president. He lied to him that he was conducting projects, tangering to find out things that were being done. Kumbe tangering to create ammunition like a Nikolai Machiavelli to come and overthrow the emperor. Yeah, we must state it. But we are watching. We want to thank the president for gradual development. Every time there's something new here, Kenya is not the same. And I want to conclude by saying, yesterday was a day when, in 1902, the then governor and the British Parliament and the Foreign Office decided to make one of the messes that you have never seen in your lives by declaring part of Kisumu and Naivasha to be part of Kenya, of Uganda. Don't you remember that 15th day, 1902, August? But times have changed. Later on, it was reversed. Idi Amin came, wanted to resurrect it. It almost brought a big war in East Africa. But why were they cutting off a great section to join it on Uganda? Why? Just a divide and divide and divide rule. Divide this community with that community so that they don't unite. Divide the Kikuyu from Masinde Muliro, from Wanga, from the Luo, they don't unite. That is the phenomenon that President Uhuru Kenyatta is trying to change in 2020, 2022, before he departs for any destination. If the referendum says don't depart, he will not depart. If the referendum comes, he will depart. If it says it fails, he will go home. All depends on the constitution as it stands today. But if a referendum is held, it means you start a new lease of your life. And Kenya will remain in a different dispensation and direction. I beg to move and declare, hand it over back to Miriam, just to wish you, all of you, a weekend, a proper weekend, whatever you want, till we meet on Sunday at 2 p.m. East African Standard Time, I want to thank all of you for having been very good for this 1 week. We have seen a lot of things. We have seen predictions come true. We have seen Malema being blown up. We have done a great job, Jermaine. We have seen Ewaro saying he wants to create legs, a leg room between him. Hey. That is a curse in Luya. In the Luya community, if somebody wants to say, I want to create a leg room between you and me, it means you're a wizard. Wesonga tell them. It means urumulos. Someone wants to sit very far from you. Me, I love sitting near Miriam all the time. And unfortunately, the COVID-19 created me a very unfortunate circumstances. I love sitting near her. This voice would not have gone. Because she could pick the quick points and seeing the boss is going down, quickly she hammers the point home. So but now here, I'm very familiar. I have to hammer the points up to the end. And I'm dying on the job.
No, don't die. Take a rest, doctor.
I want to thank all of you. I want to thank Karen, especially Karen from Malindi with this weather out focus. They are very good. You are doing a great job. Keep it up. Keep it up. I think you have spiced the whole thing with us, all of us. We are blended. We are blended, not separated or one style. I told you these guys went under court. You know dollars. They collected huge amount of dollars. Walikuja naye Mudavadi alienda huko Riverside anajenga new the big foundation. Wenzi yake pekee, nothing. And I told you I was following them. So here you are. Next week, Malema, bank statements, and more chaos in Wetangula's backyard. Don't go away. Keep it. Professor, final. Baba, I want to thank you. You have been a very inspirational figure on conflict, and we are being seen everywhere, even in Zimbabwe nowadays. We have become common figure. Yesterday, we did one of the masterpieces of peace. It is still running on. I am being insulted up to this hour. Bad fish, bad fat man, fat pig. But it means they got the message. It was very painful. But thank you very much. Wesonga. Thank you, Professor, for joining us. You have done a great job. Wesonga, my brother, keep it going. The Colombo style, keep it. We are the people, we break news when citizen has not got it. These days I'm an expert on that. Fire everywhere, fire. Medium, follow me even at midnight. Because I miss sitting near you.
Midnight, I love my sleep so much, but I'll try.
I think Wesonga Karen follows and the professor follows.
I will.
At times I put up, I find professor studying. But that's the life. I think that's why I'm fatigued. I need now to take a rest, and I hand it over back to Miriam to say bye-bye to the viewers and to thank our man, Pierre Lubanga, this man from Acholi, And then in Hassan, there have been the funds of this week. Ina Hassan has been bringing very good suggestions and interaction. So, and Mr. Sidonio Givandes of Mozambique. Gentlemen, we request you to join us in our Zoom. All of you are hearing now. We put that Zoom number there for you to join us. If you have time from your duties, please feel free to join, and you will make your points very clear. We can do anything that is possible. Thank you very much. God bless.
All right. Thank you.
Miriam, sorry for you. Can I come in?
Yes, go ahead.
There is what we call Linda Mama under the affordable healthcare. That's among the big for agenda. Now, could be our viewers do not know how to register, and it's a program based on free maternity. And just to let you know, our viewers, if you want to register for this free maternity program, you just dial where you are at home using your phone, *263#, *263#, and you get to select the language you can understand, or like English or Swahili, and register. That means you can deliver your baby in any hospital, either in a missionary or private hospital, and it will be catered for under the big four agendas that falls under the affordable healthcare. And all of this can be, you can even have the CT scan in all the counties. We have it in the coast, we have it in Mombasa, Nairobi. It's well spread out, and it's under the big four agenda. Sorry, and together we're saving lives here under our president, President Uhuru Kenyatta. So that is what I wanted to say, Miriam. They can easily access it through *263#. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That is very important information there. It's called Linda Mama. If you're expecting and you want to deliver, you dial *263# there, and you'll get professional healthcare. I think President Uhuru Kenyatta has focused so much, even through the Office of the First Lady, to try to reduce the number of mortality during childbearing, and that really has gone ahead to bear some fruits. And maternity services and all of that right now is free across board. Any public hospital, and you go there, you just deliver your baby safely and you go home. So that is also very important, even as we look at the universal healthcare, or rather affordable healthcare for the people of Kenya. Thank you so much there, Karen from Malindi. Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga from the Political Command Center. And of course, thank you so much, Professor Jared Onyari, and as well as Daniel Awesonga. Thank you so much.
Can I suggest something? Can I sing a song?
Let us hear you sing then.
Miriam, give me permission, Mama.
You don't need my permission. Go ahead.
No, you can. You have to tell me.
Go ahead.
My voice is not very good.
I'm trying to protect that voice because we need you here on Sunday. So maybe don't sing.
But no, it's okay. It doesn't have any disease. It's only
it is strained.
The too much talk.
Yes, and John Clark advised me the other day to be taking some hot water and lemon, and it's been working.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
should try
this
that.
is the one.
You should try that.
Yes, the song is by Baraka Mishe, who said, hakuna kitu kibaya kudunia kama shida. Kila siku shida, shida, mpaka siku ya mwisho.
Is that true, Tom? What are you talking about? Because we don't have shidas here.
No, the shida is with Ruto.
That's what I'm asking.
So hakuna kitu kibaya kuduniani kama shida. It doesn't choose a younger man, an old man. It doesn't choose the occasion, wedding, it comes. Everywhere it comes. Kila siku shida, shida. Oh, paka siku ya mwisho. That's Baraka Mishe. That was the last song that he sang What reminds me is on Saturday, we are dancing him in Carnival. In Carnival, I flew in from Uganda. Come 1982. Kuja hapa kucheza muziki. Ilikuwa kali sana, man. In Carnival. With our bell bottoms and big shoes. No? So here we are. That song reminds me. But then when the man reached Tanzania, after Arusha towards Dar es Salaam, an accident happened. Bees. You know that stretch between Arusha and Dar es Salaam? There are plenty of bees. But bees are also used to kill people. They put bees, they come for you and enter the driver's nose. And then you die. The man died, that was his last song. Hakuna kitu kibaya, kudunia kama shida. He was singing about Nyerere's Ujamaa villages. Nyerere was not very happy. That stretch between Arusha and Dar es Salaam has killed the former Prime Minister Sokoine in an accident related also to bees. Right? These bees in Tanzania are tough. So thank you very much, Miriam. No more singing. As by your instructions of the health and safety regulation, I have ceased the singing, and I beg to move. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and the rest of the panelists. And just so we know, the NMS, as we've said, it will be digging 200 boreholes there. And also the team will finish projects in Mukuru kwa Ruben, then move to Mukuru kwa Njenga in the next 100 days. And the construction of 400 kilometers of feeder roads in Nairobi's lands is in the pipeline, with the groundbreaking set for Lindi Ward in Kibra in about a week. And Nairobi Metropolitan Services is set also to roll out a beautification of the city with focus on building frontages, walkways and green areas. So thank you so much. We shall see you here on Sunday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye for now.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.